witches.
Hi, hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Zodiacs.
Yes.
Yes.
So today we're going to talk about Libra, which the dates for Libra are September 23rd to October 22nd. I am
Ooh, my
certain.
dad's a Libra.
I was going to say, I am certain that I know a Libra, but I don't know. I don't think I'm super close with any Libras because I don't know anyone whose birthday is in that time frame that I know
My,
well enough to know their zodiac.
yeah, my dad's a Libra.
So their symbol is the scales. This is just that quick overview, and we'll go back into some of this throughout the episode. They're a cardinal air sign. Their ruling planet is Venus. They're in the seventh house. The mantra is I relate. Their body part is the lower back and the kidneys. Colors are ivory, pink, and light blue. And their tarot card is Justice, which makes sense with the scales. So their symbol is the scales, and they're named after the constellation that corresponds to this sign. Um, and the scales are associated with the goddess Themis, who overruled over justice and law. Um, she was said to be the daughter of Uranus and Gaia, or Gaia, which is interesting. I'm pretty sure that the dog just brought his empty bowl because I just fed him while we were on our little break. Pretty sure he just brought it and banged it on my office door. So
It's like,
there's
Mom,
that.
feed me.
I just fed him. He just ate. Anyway,
Didn't eat enough.
she Themis is the daughter of Uranus and Gaia and has connections to Venus and Aphrodite in Greek and Roman myth. So it makes sense that the ruling planet would I did say the ruling planet was the ruling planet is Venus. So Libra season begins at the autumn equinox, which is about to happen. Well,
It's
by the
the
time this
most
posts, it
wonderful
will have happened.
time of the year. Oh, not
um,
yet. You got 2 more days.
okay, there we go. So the archetype is balance, equality, um, and that goes along with the timing because the autumn equinox is supposed to be the day that has, and this is in the northern hemisphere, just for clarification. Autumn equinox is the day that has the same amount of daylight and night time. So Libra is the third of the 4 cardinal signs of the zodiac. And it kind of gives it a sense of leadership and diplomacy and social justice. And then that element again is air, so it's light and dispersive. And it's the ancient astrologers thought that air represented formlessness, adaptability, um, flexibility, those kind of things, which kind of feeds into Libra's ability to support social connections, and they tend to be very graceful, poised, eloquent people. Yeah, Emily's over here doubting everything she knows. She's like, this
Okay,
doesn't
listen,
sound like the Libra I know.
I'm just, childhood trauma
um,
is a thing.
so, planetary rulership. Venus is the planetary ruler of both Libra and Taurus. Libra was thought to be the day or the diurnal home of Venus, while Taurus is the nocturnal home of Venus. While in Libra, Venus has the full, like, it's like a potent harmoniousness. um, Being able to be peaceful, diplomatic, loving. Um, Venus in Libra is found in the charts of elegant, graceful, and sociable people that have a natural affinity for negotiating and expressing an artistic flair. Um, Libra also has an exaltation of Saturn, and this is Libra sun signs, just so we're being clear. In classic astrology, Saturn is the planet of duty and discipline and is thought to be exalted in Libra, whose fair, equitable, and peaceable qualities blend well with the discerning nature of Saturn. Um, and for people who have Saturn and Libra in their birth charts, tend to be balanced and measured when it comes to expressing like perseverance and good judgment. So basically making good choices and persevering in those good choices. Then there's the detriment of Mars. So Venus rules Libra, which tends to connect and keep the peace. And Mars is kind of the opposite of that. Um, and it's kind of a disadvantage to people with Mars and Libra. Because instead of having like, you know, the plant, Mars is the god of war, and he typically is like weapons, armor, battle. So being in the beautiful, like nice, elegant surroundings of Libra, it's hard for that compromise to happen. And it's hard for them to express their anger or heightened emotions at times. And because of that, sometimes people with Mars in their Libra tend to just avoid confrontation all the way together. Like they just don't deal with it. They just kind of ignore it. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then
You
the
lost in
fall
your
of the
thought.
sun. I did. I was like, what does that say? Fall of the sun. So um it based on the way the chart is, the sun is said to be in its fall in Libra. So its solar power and potency is lower. We're going into the winter months, right? We're leaving the summer months. Um so that's considered the fall of the sun. So those born with the sun in Libra may have to work on putting themselves first in life, and not letting everyone else come first. So they're naturally peaceful and compromising people, but sometimes they're going to have to say no. So boundaries are going to be big, and not spreading themselves too thin when helping others so they can't take care of themselves. Which is interesting because I don't have Libra anywhere in my chart, but that is very much an issue that I have. So that's an interesting thing. Um, so I said Libra was in the seventh house. The seventh house is the house of relationships. Since it is balanced, relational energy, similar to like the seventh house in the birth chart, indicates how we form partnerships. So since Libra is ruled by Venus, it really goes well with the seventh house, honestly. Um, and then we go on into the characteristics of Libras. So personality, the Libras their traits are going to be derived from the masculine or yang qualities. Um, they're more engaged with the outer world. So they're probably going to be an extrovert, maybe, not always, but probably going to be more extroverted.
Not always, but
they um anyone with Venus in their rising sun or moon sign have um very like equal or justice-y energy in their core personality. So they want things to be fair. As a cardinal air sign, Libra has both like that social um activism quality and a leadership side. So they're going to be big in pioneering like activism, social projects, gatherings. They're going to be good at unifying their team or family, maybe, or community. Like they're going to bring people together. They tend to be thought of as the diplomats of the zodiac, and are often mediators or negotiators in crisis. Um, they're also usually a little too quick to forgive and smooth out differences. So sometimes they might kind of sweep some things under the rug instead of truly getting down to the nitty gritty of the problem. They're just going to be like, oh, it's okay.
I'll deal with that later.
Yeah. Their strengths are going to be in their loving, healing traits. Um, they're going to put others first for the sake of everyone's comfort and well being. So, like, if they're in an argument with somebody and it's making the whole group suffer, they're going to put their own feelings aside to make the whole group better. They're going to be good communicators and listeners usually, and they're going to listen to all sides of an argument and other people's points of views before like responding. They're also going to be very inclusive and can get upset when people are left out or alienated. So these are going to be the ones that would ask the kid that everyone else was being mean to sit with them or to play with them at school. Like these are going to be those ones that are like not letting people be left out.
But like also read the room if they don't want to be talked to.
Yeah. Well, and that can also be an issue. So it also says they can have the best intentions, and they see the best in people, and sometimes they will give people way too many chances to redeem themselves instead of finally just being like, no, you're done. Um, so
We're
again,
backing the fuck up.
boundaries and putting yourself first is going to be important to remember for these people. Um, so they're also going to be like creative, but they're going to want the atmosphere to be harmonious. So by that I mean like the physical atmosphere. They want um the aesthetics of their atmosphere to set the tone for their well-being in social interactions. So they don't want it to be too much or too little. They want to be soothing, I guess. Now, some weaknesses. It says some sources of weakness or potential blind spots in the Libra archetype are going to be the flip side of all their great strengths. So, they have the opposite challenge that their opposite or that their counterparts have. So Aries is their counterpart, and they tend to they have a hard time making their individually focused natures more relational, where Libra is the opposite. They tend to be too relational and worried about everyone else, and they don't focus on themselves very often. The sun being in its fall in Libra can kind of get them caught in a rut. So instead of valuing themselves enough, they will keep quiet instead of saying their piece, to keep things calm. And then eventually those like things that they have repressed are going to come out as resentment at some point. And then because they tend to focus on only the good and pleasant, the resentment will come out in unusual ways. So rather than like putting somebody on the spot, they're going to be passive aggressive. They're going to over commit themselves, so they're spread too thin. And then when they do take the time to take care of themselves, no one else is going to say that they're being selfish. Or, well, they might, but that's a different issue. It's not a Libra issue. But they are going to feel like they're being selfish and that they shouldn't be doing that. So they're going to feel guilty about doing something for themselves. They also are super indecisive. So they want to be inclusive and they want to do everything for everyone. And because of that, like you can't please everyone. That's not possible. So that's going to cause them some issues in their lives.
My dad is passive aggressive, that's for sure.
Yeah. And so a good thing for children who are Libra are going to be reminding them that they are worthy of love as they are, and they do not have to pay their friends back, in quotes, for their love and support. So like you don't have to give someone a gift for doing something nice to you. You don't have to keep a tally in your head of who's done what for who. Doesn't matter. Like someone can do something nice for you just for the sake of doing something nice. So the next section of my notes is life purpose and career. So starting with their mantra was I relate. Their sense of purpose is, like we said above, all about social and creative connections. They're going to be those diplomats. They're trying to uphold justice and all of those things. And so they relate to other people's issues. Libran people tend to be drawn to jobs or hobbies where they are initiating a social or artistic movement of some kind. So you're going to find Libras a lot in law, in diplomacy, philanthropy, and artists. The Libra at work is going to make them, they're unique. I don't know. They're suited for professions where they are advocating for the less fortunate. So they need to feel like they are fixing something. So it could come out in a lot of professions, but it's not going to be in those jobs. Like they're not going to be a work from home computer person. That's not going to be their best environment. They need movement, activity, space, social interaction. They need new things to happen. They can't do jobs where the same thing is happening over and over and over again. And if they do have to work like from home, like so for example, during COVID when we all had to work from home, something that would help a Libra would be to decorate their workspace with art and beautiful things. To have music playing, to have some kind of aromatherapy, that's all going to help them. I did have to work from home during COVID and I was so unproductive, it was not even funny. Like it was awful. I that is not the life for me. I wish it was. I would love to just be able to stay at home and work from my comfy chair and not have the hour of travel time I have every day, but like I am not productive at home. Which kind of comes out in the podcast as we noticed this morning when I was like, I still haven't read anything. But yeah. So Libra being ruled by Venus, the planet of luxury and beauty, a career that could be good for them is anything in the artistic or beauty industries, any way that a Libra can improve the lives or surroundings of others is going to be fulfilling. They're very image conscious, so they're very aware of what others think about them and how they look and are viewed. So you can find them a lot in fashion design as either creators or models, hairstylists, makeup artists, any kind of career where you're helping others basically to make them feel more beautiful. And they're also going to potentially be really good as counselors because they're going to be good listeners, and want to help that person, I don't know, fix or resolve whatever the issues are. Like I already said it above, Libra being, I mean, the sign of the scales, okay? So that automatically is going to make them good lawyers and judges, allowing them to look at all the factors without or before they make a decision. Already said that. They're good at politics. They're kind of like, honestly, there's a little bit, a Libra could be good at just about anything as long as what they're doing is helping and supporting others. So they're also going to be good leaders because they're worried about making the situation better for others, not just themselves. So then we get into Libra compatibility. They're going to blend best with fire signs and other air signs, and they're going to have to work a little bit harder on relationships with water signs and earth signs, which makes sense that I don't really have any Libras that I feel super close to in that sense. So fire signs, this is going to be kind of one of those not opposite attracts, but a little bit. So the big thing is thinking about if you have like a little bitty fire and you're trying to make it bigger, what do? You blow on it, right? You add oxygen, you add air. So the Libra is going to like stoke the fire of those fire signs. And in that way, Leo is going to be a good match for Libra because they're going to appreciate their like flair, and they're going to help them grow more. Sagittarius is very adventurous and Libra is very sociable, so they're going to play well together and be able to enjoy the beauty and variety that the world has to offer. Not as passionate though. So like Leo and Libra is going to be very passionate. Sagittarius and Libra is going to be more like a friendship probably. Aries is going to have like a opposites attract connection with Libra. It's either going to be magnetic or polarizing. They're either going to be perfect together or hate each other. It gives enemies to lovers, honestly. Because the Aries is going to teach the Libra to put themselves first, and the Libra is going to teach the Aries that maybe a little bit of like think first then act is going to give them a little bit of tact. So they're going to be compatible in that way. And I feel like when you put an Aries in a relationship where there is any kind of compatibility, there's also going to be passion because Aries, I feel, is passion.
It's fire, basically.
Right. So then air signs, when you have the same elemental expression, there's always a bit of compatibility. But Libra and Gemini are going to be a good match because Gemini is already stimulating and interconnected with the world, like just like Libra, but Libra is going to bring some balance and beauty to that relationship. Libra and Aquarius are going to enjoy almost debating, which sounds very much like you. Like it says they're going to enjoy conversing endlessly, sharing ideas on issues of social justice. And I feel like knowing you the way that I do, that sounds like that would be a very compatible friend for you. Um, however, that
That's
Aquarius is
literally all I've ever done with my dad. If he says something stupid that is like borderline racist, or he says that he like is voting for Trump for some stupid reason, I'm like, let me just school you on this real quick. Let's talk.
yeah, and then there's usually discourse there, right? He usually talks back. It's
Yeah.
not just the end of it. Yeah. So, the if this is a romantic relationship, however, that Aquarius is going to have to remember to show some affection to their partner and not stay so cool and remote. Oh, excuse me. And then there's Libra and Libra, and that's going to be an amazing match. However, it's going to be a very public match. So they're going to be making appearances at fundraisers. They're going to be making appearances at events. They're going to be going out. They're going to be doing this. And finding that passion for each other is going to be a little bit harder because they're going to have shared passion for other things. So it's going to be something they have to work on. Then there's water signs. Um, Libra likes to keep the peace no matter what and doesn't like to delve into their feelings. And water signs are going to make them do that. So they're not going to be a great um, match. Cancer is going to be good at taking care of the Libra, which is going to be a new concept for them, and they're going to like it. However, Cancers like to stay home. They like intimate gatherings. They like small groups. And Libra loves to be out and about in public. So they're going to struggle with that. Pisces is going to encourage that Libra to have some emotional depth, where that Libra does not want that. They want to keep everything light, fun, airy. Um, and so they're probably honestly going to fight about that. Scorpio is going to have a very good sexual relationship with Libra. So a lot of passion there. However, Scorpio is very brooding and intense. And the Libra is not going to like that about them. And so they're a little bit too opposite to work out in the end. Then we come to earth signs. Earth signs could potentially stabilize and ground Libra's energies, but these are going to be the hardest signs for Libras to relate to. Capricorn, being another cardinal sign, would be a pragmatic person for that Libra to lean on. But there's not, it's more of a business relationship. It would be a good business relationship, but it's not so much um, romantic. Virgo and Libra, they both like refinement. They both like calm and justice. But the Virgo is going to be more self-critical and more introverted than the Libra, and that could cause issues there. But it could go the other way in some cases and be the Libra is able to bring that Virgo out of their shell. And then there's Taurus and Libra. They both have the rulership of Venus, which can bring them together when enjoying and appreciating life's pleasures. Um, they're both peaceful and content generally, but the Libra is constantly moving on to the next thing, going fast, and the Taurus is more slow and go with the flow, and they're not going to be able to sync up in that way. So that is their compatibility. And that makes a lot of sense about why I don't have any close Libra friends. um, but then we go into health. So Libra health, the constitution, I always repeat this every time we do a Zodiac episode, I feel like, but it's because I forget it every time, so saying it again helps. So in medical astrology, there were 4 temperaments that were connected to 4 vital fluids and 4 essential constitution types. Libra is associated with this sanguine temperament, which is thought to be hot and moist and connected to the blood. The sanguine constitution was considered to be naturally healthy and resilient, being connected to the youthful phase of life and the spring season. These are typically going to be cheery people. They're naturally energetic, and they typically are going to be more in shape. However, they're going to have to really watch what they're eating and drinking because they're going to have imbalances related to like the different things that they eat. They're going to overwork themselves and deplete their energy. But typically, this constitution type is not going to experience health challenges until later in their life. And then they're going to have issues with blood pressure, and their metabolism is going to slow down. So, like I said before, their body part is going to be the lower back and kidneys, and adrenal glands, which are all related and linked to, it says eliminatory functions, but basically pooping and getting rid of the impurities of your blood. Like it takes the nasty stuff out and gets rid of it. So they're going to carry the concerns, and like their mental health is going to manifest in lower back pain. And they're going to have to be very, very careful about not overcommitting themselves and using up all of their energy reserves, because this is going to cause stress, and that stress is going to come out in their kidneys, and put extra stress on their kidneys. And then anybody who has Libra rising or ascendant is going to have to work very hard on their energy balance because I don't know, they just are. It doesn't say why, it just says they just are.
You just have to. There's no way
Yeah,
around it.
you just have to, just don't even ask questions, just do it. Herbal allies, I did not write any details about these. I just listed the 3 herbal allies. So their herbal allies are going to be marshmallow root, mugwort, and damask rose. I invite you to look those up on your own if you are a Libra, but I did not go into the details about those. Then we have the tarot cards. Like I said before, Justice is the tarot card from the Major Arcana, and that is card number 11. It is a calm, balanced judge/king archetype seated between 2 pillars that echo the equilibrium of the scales. The Justice card tends to appear to help us meditate on choices we're making, similar to the manner of the Gemini card, the Lovers. Here, the king or judge holds the elements of discernment in the left hand, and the scales that weigh out the pros and cons in the right hand, or that's in the left hand. And then in the right hand, he holds a sword, which is the tarot implement of the intellect pointing towards the heavens for divine guidance. The minor arcana is the 2, 3, and 4 of swords. So the suit of swords is associated with the element of air. And then the cards tend to be associated with implementation of ideas and knowledge. So using your intellectual facilities and keeping those intellectual facilities honed. And then it goes into more details on each of those 3 cards. But again, I'm going to let you look those up on your own. The rising sign, Libra rising, means that Libra was the zodiac that was on the eastern horizon at the time of your birth. As a Libra rising, you're ruled by air, and your ruling planet is Venus, the planet of love, beauty, long term connections, and money. So, um, I feel like your ascending sign or your rising sign is more important than people realize. And I think that it really goes into why some signs are more compatible than others. For example, I'm a Capricorn rising, and Brittany is a Capricorn. So my Capricorn rising gives me some of those same traits that helps us be more compatible. And then the last thing I have, of course, as always, is some Libra celebrities. So the very first one should be like, once I say it, you're gonna be like, oh well, duh, that makes a lot of fucking sense. Because of the lifestyle that this person leads, and that's gonna be Kim Kardashian. A lot of these, honestly. Then Serena Williams, Bella Hadid, Cardi B, Will Smith, Gwyneth Paltrow, Halsey. Why did I
I
just
love
say
her.
it like that? I do too. AOC. So, why the fuck did her name just leave my head?
Yeah.
Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, right? Is that her name? AOC. Hilary Duff, Eminem, Doja Cat, Zac Efron, Kate Winslet, John Krasinski, Fran Drescher, Nanny Fine, Alicia Silverstone, Bruno Mars, Avril Lavigne, Snoop Dogg, and the Queen herself, Julie Andrews.
I love them all.
Yes, a lot of them are actors, and not side character actors. A lot of them are main character actors, um, which I feel like kind of says something about the archetype. But yeah, and all of the above information was found on astrology.com. So there's more detail on there if you want more detail, except for the celebrities. I found those on peoplemagazine.com.
I love that.
So, and that's all I have for Libra. So if you have a Libra in your life, now you'll understand them a little better, or you can share this with them so they understand themselves a little better. Either way,
Yeah, because
or
I'm
both.
like part of it was true, and then the other part was like, no.
Yeah, understood.
All right. Well, until next time.
Bye.